Moving on to Crucible 2, which I will not be soloing. That would be foolish. That would leave me with 2 characters to take out the final gate. That's not going to happen. So we're going to bring a whole team. So we have some more options to choose from when we get there. Because Garland's definitely coming. And spoiler alert, so are Serah and Lightning. That's what it's going to be. When I first did this, actually funny story about this. In the midst of me attempting the Garland solo over and over again, I got to a point where I'm like, okay, this is taking forever. I'm going to take a break from this. I'll just go beat the right Crucible now, which would be this one. And my dumbass didn't even look at the crystal requirements. I just went in like, let's stop this. And I went in with Terra, Yang, and Serah, which is a great team, but there's no blue crystal on that team. So I didn't even think about it. Like, I'm going through, and I stomped it in 2 turns because Terra and Yang should be illegal, and plus Serah, you should just be in prison if you do that. So then it comes up, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take screenshots and show the Discord, and then 2 out of the 3 requirements were highlighted. It just, there it is right there, grayed out. Bring a blue crystal. You didn't do that. Giant F. So we opt for Krile because Krile is awesome. This orb is elemental. There's a variety of different elements you can hit it with. It's pretty much all of Faris's elements. It's hard selling Faris, which makes sense why it would be this boss, because if you guys remember the Sid Lost chapter, these things have they have this HP damage reduction buff on that cuts your damage by like 75%. But we're just not going to let them do that. We're going to just rush them down, and they're not going to be able to do it. They're going to gain Brave, it's going to get broken. This is just a typical boring Rushdown fight at this point. But yeah, I just brought these guys because I wanted to use the other 2 for the final gate, which ended up working out better than my original run, I gotta say. Mainly because of the orbs. Because that first wave orb, I'm getting ahead of myself, but everybody cares more about the final gate, I think, as opposed to this one. But we'll see. I said that last time about the turtles. I was super bored doing the commentary for the turtles last time, and it seems like people have struggled. In retrospect, looking back, it seems like people have struggled with the turtles more than anything. Which, this is not to dismiss anyone else when I say this, but I am still floored by how that's even possible. And that's not me trying to say get good. I'm not trying to be like that. I'm saying I've talked to people who have done the whole tier 1, and afterwards they say, you know, the turtles is the real boss of that. That's way worse than the masks. I just don't relate to that whatsoever. I really don't. And see, in my experience, the real boss was the wolves because I'm an idiot and tried to solo it. Excuse me, not tried. Succeeded, eventually. Emphasis on eventually, because it took forever. But yeah, this is, there really isn't much to say about this one. It really is just stack auras, ring elements, bunch of battery, damage up calls. We have Jack, Gabranth, and Ignis. That's like, in my opinion, probably the 3 best calls in the game, I'd say. And I know some people might think it's Faris, and that's fine. Because I could be wrong about that. I'm gonna say something that might not age well, and that's fine. I'd actually love to be proven wrong about this, but it's still too early to tell. So again, I'm kind of just talking as I'm seeing things as they appear. But I'm not the biggest fan of Faris's call. I'm really not. I mean, it's not like it's bad. It's a good call, but I cannot get past the 5 debuffs thing. I really, really don't like that. Because that just... So that means, okay, alright, if you're doing it for calls, or even on the team, that's pretty excessive. But even just for calls. So if you wanted to... That means you could really only bring 1 other debuff call. So you could bring Jack Call with Faris, that'd be cool. But then you don't really have any HP damage up at all. It's all Brave damage up. And then if you bring Faris Call and say any other like HP damage up call, great. But now you missed out on the Jack call. So it's like she just takes up too much space for debuff slots. I mean, maybe it'll be, I'm sure it will be more manageable when we eventually get the 8 debuff slots. Maybe then it'll be better, but as of right now, I think she just takes up too much debuff real estate, and I'm not a fan of it. Like Faris is, in any of these videos, Faris is nowhere to be found. Like I didn't use her here, I didn't use her call in the last wave, like she's just not here. But, again, maybe things will change. I'm okay with being wrong about stuff. I do think, in retrospect, okay, let's talk about Ignis. I do think that I undersold Ignis. I think Ignis is better than I originally gave him credit for. I gotta say that. On the team, he's better than I gave him credit for. He's still not necessarily my cup of tea, just because of how much of the turn wasting he does, but he's definitely better than I was originally anticipating. Which is good. I'm glad he's better than I originally thought. That's awesome. I'd love to be proven wrong and have characters be better than I think they are. Because I want characters to be good. I don't want characters to suck. Who does? Why would any of us? We want good options, right? These robots are getting tore up. Like, this is just not even fair. But neither is life. Is there a character who has aged better than Lightning? I swear to God. Given how long ago she came out and how powerful she still is, hell, how overpowered she still is, I think it's safe to say she has absolutely not been power crept whatsoever. I'm hard pressed to find another character who had a run like she did, just dominating the meta for so long. Well, Arnea says hi, but you get my point. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm sure you guys can hear. There's like these birds chirping like right where I am. Super loud. I'm sure it's coming in on the video. Consider it a foreshadowing for the middle gate, because Square decided to just throw a bunch of birds at us all at once, which I thought was strange. Tier 2 is the bird tier. We get some big ass lockbird, and look at that, 2 new birds. What did we fight for the Dash Lost chapter? More birds. Square has just been pumping out the birds lately. Okay, come on now. You guys really are just in the way. There's no threat anymore. You guys are really old enemies. You're not hard to just bully. That's what we're doing. You've been refeatured enough times. To be fair, not that much. I mean, they've refeatured this boss a couple times, but it's not as excessive as those damn wolves. So many times we've had to fight that. Ah, here we go. Serah, it's up to you. Let's do it. You failed. But you capped, so that wasn't even your fault. But this is cool. Get zapped, get dead. Thank you, Krile. Wonderful job, team. You all played a vital role. Did very well. Okay. I will see you guys at the middle gate. Thanks for watching.